Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joni Young and today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to paint this tropical landscape, and it's going to be a step-by-step tutorial suitable for all levels. So if you're just a beginner, you can join right in with this. No matter what level you are, you can do this at your own pace. I'll break it down into those steps that are easy for you guys to follow along. Today we're working on a 9x12 stretched canvas. I've primed an old painting with just black paint, let it dry. We're now ready to begin. I'm going to go over the colors that we're using today as well as the first brush. So I've got this 2-inch large just blending brush. I've got sap green, yellow ochre, phthalo blue, turquoise, neon red, lemon yellow, light blue violet, titanium white. You can use any other variations of these colors if you don't have these specific ones. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. We're going to begin with the background, the sky, and I'm going to take white with phthalo blue. We'll begin right across the top, lining your brush up on one end of the canvas and pulling, turning your brush. Nice long sweeping strokes. Take some more of that blue. And now a little bit more white. I'm going to come right down here with the white. Right down here, and then bring it back up and meet right into that blue. Now we want the horizon to be a little bit lower, so we're going to just put a line right here, and this is going to be all sky, and then this will be the water and the beach. I'm just going to use a little Filbert brush. This one's a number 9. I'm going to get it a little bit wet, and we're just going to add a few clouds in here. So we're going to use a little bit of white and a little bit of that light blue violet. And we'll just start tapping in very lightly like this. Painting wet on wet, so we're going to be picking up a little bit of that phthalo blue. Maybe we'll add a little one right over here, and then maybe just a few little ones right like that. So these are pretty rough at this point. We need to softly blend these in. So in order to do that, I'm going to take my 1-inch or 1/2-inch little mop brush. It's dry and it's very soft, and I'm just going to dust very lightly. Barely touching that canvas. Making these clouds look very soft and delicate. Now if we want to, we can add a little bit more white in there. As the paint begins to dry, we can add another layer of white, tinted with that blue if we want, just to make it look a little bit softer. Or we can try doing that right now. Let's see what'll happen. A little bit of that white and blue, and very lightly. Still a little bit early to add the final bit of white in there. I think that we're going to have to wait until it dries a little bit more. So I've got my studio quite cool right now, and that makes the paint take longer to dry. So there's a little tip for you guys. You ask me that all the time. How do I keep my paint from drying out quickly? Well, it's a couple of things. I paint fast and I keep it cool in my studio. The warmer the temperature, the quicker that paint is going to dry. I'm going to switch over to my favorite flat brush. It's a number 11. And I'm going to begin with of underneath part of the water, some rocks or reefs, and for that I want to use a mixture of phthalo blue and that blue violet. Okay, so we're just going to mix the two together like that. And I'm going to just add a line right here for our horizon, or maybe there's, you know, a little island back there. We just need that strip of blue. I'll just go over that again with a little bit more of the phthalo this time, making it a bit deeper. Deeper in color, I mean. And then we can come in here with some of that blue. So I've never done this over a black canvas before, adding the blue underneath the water first and then the turquoise after, so it'll be interesting to see how this comes out. This is an experiment, and like always with experiments, you never really know what you're going to get, but it's good to try those experiments to see what will happen. You learn from them. You learn from your mistakes, or you learn from what could go right, and you might learn a whole new technique. So here I'm just scumbling a little bit of that blue in, getting the shape for this beach. It's going to come out like this, come from the side, and then curve over like that. And then this is going to be the beach. So while we're letting that water, the shadows in the water and the rocks in the water dry, let's head over to the beach here and begin working on that. So for those colors, we're not just going to use white, we're going to tint our white and make a pretty pastel colored beach. A little bit of yellow, a little bit till you get it to be like the color of butter. Then we're going to add a little bit of that neon red, and you sure don't need very much of it. A little goes a long way. So you get this really soft, pretty, very delicate, light peachy shade for the sand. And I'm going to add a little strip right in here and pull it back. Pull it back, and then we're going to come around right down across there. And notice how I start to pull it up on an angle like this. That will give you a little subtle slope to your beach. Kind of feeling like you're going down into the water, but slightly. Don't want anything too dramatic for this. We just want to feel very tranquil, calm, and relaxed. Now you can see I've picked up a little bit of blue there, and that's okay. Just gonna pull that out. We're gonna have some lighter water in here. And I'm going to make sure I wipe off the excess, any bit of blue that I just picked up on a towel, and I'm gonna pick these colors up again, scoop it up on my brush. And I'll just begin applying it here. It's such a pretty color. Now in some spots I have a little bit more of the pink showing, and that's really pretty. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to overblend anything. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit of my turquoise now. A little bit of turquoise, white, and yellow. And I'm just going to begin adding it right in here. I'm coming around with it. And I have a little bit of water in my brush. I'm going to very lightly pull. So I'm going to take a little bit of phthalo blue this time with the turquoise. And I'm going to go right under that white line and pull across. I'm going to bring this in slightly. A little bit more turquoise, just so you can see how much I've got to work with here, guys. We'll just add in a few little lines like this. And right in here, the angle starts to change slightly right in here. It gets rounded and on a slant, like that. Adding some little shadows and rocks again here in the water just to make them stand out a little bit more. You can take a mixture. I've got a little bit of turquoise with that phthalo blue. You get a really neat design and color mixture in the water. It's quite pretty. Okay, we're going to go on a slant. I'm going to pick up a little bit of my yellow turquoise and begin pulling it in here. Pick up some more white. Let's just create a soft little wave-like action here. Just very soft. So I've got quite a bit of paint. And I'm just going to scumble little lines like this. See how I'm just kind of wiggling my brush around. And then pulling. Make it look more shallow in some spots like this, just adding a little bit of that white, maybe a little bit of white, yellow, and green. Then I'm going to come in with a white again right there. Pick up a little bit of that peach. Kind of lost that pretty peachy color. There we go. And lightly pull. Lightly pull. What's neat because you can kind of see that dark. You can scrape off a little bit of that paint, and I get a neat little pattern here in the sand of where those waves kind of come up, give you that rounded sort of a look. could spend hours and hours just playing around with the water. Oh, we've got a palm tree to paint. So why don't we go ahead and get started on that. So here I've got got a little bit of water dripping on there. Number 4, Filbert. It's a nice small one. And I'm going to take some of my sap green here and a little bit of yellow ochre. More sap than yellow though. And let's begin. It's gonna right up here. I've got one that goes like this. So the wind, this is really going to give you that feeling of Caribbean breeze, that ocean. So some of these palm leaves have this yellow ochre-ish color in the center where all the little other leaves shoot out from. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that. Then go right back into that sap green. We're just going to pull and flick. So I'm using my brush 2 ways, right? You can either use the full width of it and pull and flick like this. Let's add that little line in there again. Or you can turn it this way and do more of a singular little leaf like that. And I'm just going to continue. Using my brush both ways. I want it to be a bit darker. I'll just go back, pull and flick with that sap green. We've got to have our little tree trunk in here somewhere, don't we? This is a different kind of a palm tree. It's kind of a short little baby one in here. We're just going to put it kind of right there. We'll change the color of the tree trunk a little bit later on. I just want to concentrate right now on these leaves. Makes such a natural color mixing that sap green with the yellow ochre. It's great. It's like the perfect color mixture. Let's do a few in this direction. Coming right down here. I'm actually going to pick up a little bit of my lemon yellow this time and incorporate some of that. we'll pull another one in here. Let's take some of our sap green and our back with our yellow ochre there. And then we'll take some yellow with our yellow ochre. A little line like that. And very lightly. I've got a number 4 liner brush, yellow, white, and yellow ochre, so both yellows. Get it on the end of my brush, and I'm going to do a fine little line wherever I want these little lines to really show up. And then I want to take a little bit more yellow and add some closer together little lines like this. This sometimes can be a little bit hard to achieve with a larger brush like Filbert, so you can just leave them how I did, or if you want to try to use a liner brush to make a little bit more tight details like this. And just follow along and do light little pulls and flicks. Let's add one. Could be right over here. And the breeze is just making these little leaves turn this way. Reload my brush, come back in here, and add a few that are just really, really light. So we have a really nice variation of colors in this palm tree, and we're getting a lot of light. And it's nice to create all those natural highlights. These types of paintings, these seascapes, for me are all about feeling that warm tropical sun, feeling a warm breeze, picturing myself on the beach, and to get that feeling across in a painting, you need to pay attention to light and to shadow. So I'm going to come in with another one here, again using that yellow and white. And let's bring one in right in here. And load my brush up again. Get some more of that yellow. I'm actually going to take a little bit of my neon red with the yellow, because sometimes you get sort of this rusty orangey color. And let's go and add some right in here. And we'll go right over our tree trunk. And add just a few little hints of it. Some of these leaves. I'm going to add some more of my sapphire now and just add a little bit more shadow in here. A shadow on that side. Some right in there. Back to my yellow ochre. Add one more palm leaf right in here. Pick up some of my bright yellow. Okay, I'm now going to come in with some shadows in the water, and actually just a little bit, only going to be using the same colors. So a bit of blue. I've got my little Filbert brush again. White with that violet blue. And I'm going to add a bit more in here. Clouds. Add a little bit more white in here. And that sky is still wet back there. Wow. Just gonna use my finger to soften this. There we go. And I'm going to go back to the light blue violet. Add some little shadows from the palm tree. I'll place a few just right down here at the base. And I'm going to go into my white with a little bit of the neon red. And just brighten up the sand around here. A little bit more of that pink in there because it's just so pretty. Maybe we can just tint these clouds a little bit too. Little lines, just a tiny bit of little lines here on the edge of the little tree trunk. Let's put a little bit of yellow and white. I'm adding over right down in here. My light blue violet with a little bit of phthalo blue, guys, and I'm just going to come back and add those shadows that didn't show up. And this blue violet is very complementary to the turquoise. Maybe we'll add a little bit of our neon red and white with that light blue, and add maybe like a little mountain back there, and a little bit of white inside of this with that neon red, just in between it. I'm just going to make a dark color with my red, phthalo blue, and green. The last little bits of our shadows in here. I'm just going to add a little bit more of that blue. Just really want this to stand out more at the back there. And back to my white and a little bit of red here. I'm just taking a little bit of phthalo blue with white. I'm just going to soften this up a little bit. Add a little bit of my light blue violet. Just tone this cloud a little bit up there. Just add a few little lines in here for the shadows. Again with that light purple violet. Just maybe add a few little wispy clouds in like that. I'm pulling them kind of sweeping up on an angle. I quite often like to do that. Just scumbling along with my little Filbert. And just right up here, I'm going to make this one go up as well. Kind of just sneak a little bit of those clouds in and behind those leaves. I think I've just about finished. I would like to soften this a little bit. So I've washed my Filbert brush off. I'm just going into my yellow, white, and green. I'm just going to add a little layer just to soften that one up, because every one of the leaves looks kind of really in detail, and I want to have some of them slightly blurry, give them more of a softer look. This one right here. Let's just sort of soften, just like that. So that kind of really helps to set some of the palm leaves behind and some of them more in focus in the foreground. Take a little bit of my neon red with my yellow ochre, and a little bit in here. Just a few little lines like that. Okay, so this painting is all done, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed watching this and learned a lot today. Stay healthy and happy out there. Keep painting, and I'll see you guys very soon. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more. Bye!